Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to one of these impact lecture sessions. Today, we are very glad that we have one of our today's speaker comes from the Western Galilee College, and actually, is the local coordinator of the project Impact in Western Galilee College in her university. I will request from all of you to mute your microphone, and then during the questions, you will have all the time to interact with our speaker. So today's lecture comes from Samia Zeid, Dr. Samia Zeid. She's going to talk about, she's an expert in intercultural topics. She's a lecturer at the Western Galilee College. She's the head of the English Studies. She's a member of the committee for the encouragement of communication between Arab and Jewish students, which is very important for the stability of the area. Among her research interests, I can mention metacognitive learning strategies, linguistic and cultural diversity, student-centered learning, and self-regulated learning. The last topic also will be the topic of the next Friday talk that closes our course, this international course in soft and research skills and digital skills, and don't forget the AI playgrounds for this academic semester. So I would like to give the floor to Samia in order to start her presentation, and I would like to thank her a lot for her contribution. Thank you, Samia, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kostas. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We're going to communicate among us, like you're going to communicate with other colleagues. You're going to ask questions, respond, react, so feel free to interrupt and address your questions and concerns if you have any. Okay, so here we start. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. One second. So here we go. Okay, here we go. In the meantime, have we opened the chat box, Kostas?
Yes, but you need to make this in full screen.
Okay, one second. Yeah, here.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I would appreciate it in the meantime if you write, if you rename your self on this screen, you write your name and where you are from. Okay, so please do that. I have to do that too. Okay, so here we go. Rename. Okay, so we know where each of us come from. Okay, and I am from the Western Galilee College. That's what I already said. Okay. Okay, from the Western Galilee College. Okay, so I'm going to talk about building bridges, not wall, between different cultures, and I will be suggesting a way to enhance and boost intercultural communication. Oh, one second. There's a problem with this, moving this. Okay, sorry. One second. So I'm going to introduce the outline of this session. First, I'm going to talk about what intercultural competence is and why it is important. Then I'm going to share with you my personal journey and insights that I've gained throughout this journey. We will play a game on culture know-how, how much you know about other culture. And then there are the do and the don'ts that I have gained and I've learned throughout my journey of intercultural communication. I'm going to recommend strategies for effective and intercultural communication. Then I'm going to talk about the role of personalized. Notice that there's no spelling mistake here. So the AI means the artificial intelligence. The role of personalized learning and mediation in nurturing intercultural competence. And at the end of the session, we'll unpack or address or discuss intercultural scenarios as a way to boost our intercultural competence. So here we go. So I'm going to start with definitions of terms. So inter as a language teacher, inter means between, intercultural means between cultures, and cultures are made of groups of people from different communities. They have different traditions, beliefs, values, norms, meanings, and symbols. Competence refer to the capability, the ability, aptitude, the know-how, or proficiency. So if you are competent in about cultures, it means that you are able to understand other cultures, belief, and you have developed your know-how, proficiency as to how to communicate with other cultures. Interculture's competence refer to the proficiency, so you're proficient in relation to different cultures, different communities, or people. Okay, admin, 1 second. I have to press it twice. Then why is that? Okay, as someone who studied in England, so the term was mind the gap is something that I heard on a daily basis. I finished my PhD at Anglia Ruskin University in Cambridge. So this term, I heard this term every day, mind the gap. And I use it for years. And now I'm going to use it in my lecture in order to introduce the idea of suggesting awareness and attention to the gap and a gap between different cultures, and as a way to promote understanding and being mindful of gaps between cultures, okay, and different communities. So why mind the gap? Why be careful about the gaps between cultures? And this is the importance of learning and the need to enhance your intercultural communication, because you will gain increased understanding and respect of different cultures. You can improve culture communication skills, which will ultimately reduce misunderstanding. Intercultural competence results in grading or requires even greater awareness of cultures differences. Then you learn how to acknowledge worldviews and heritage. It leads to enhanced employee liability, so your chances to get another job, to work with other people from different cultures are higher. You build better leadership skills with a global mindset, meaning a mindset that will match and fit different cultures. Okay, and you have better decision-making skills. You increase your adaptability, productivity, and teamwork skills. Have I missed anything? Do you want to add anything to this list? Why intercultural competence is needed? Do you want to add any of these skills? Okay, if not, then I can proceed. I'm going, as I mentioned in the outline of this session, I'm going to share my journey, intercultural journey with you, and I would like to present significant events from my journey that illustrate the evolution of my intercultural proficiency, meaning the growth of my intercultural communication skills. So this is my village it's in the northern side of Israel. I was born in a small village on a mountain where people were closely connected, where we talk about the nuclear and extended families, where everybody knows everybody else. Years ago, when I was still a child, there were 5,000 people in this village, and we learned in the same schools. There were 2 schools, and we attended the same weddings. and we went we would play in the same streets, and we knew each other. So this has promoted, to me, what I've learned from this is community engagement, family dynamics, understanding, adaptability, interpersonal skills, and conflict resolution, because when there was a disagreement, though, so people didn't go to court. We just learned how to resolve issues and conflicts among ourselves by listening to the elderly. Top 10. Can somebody guess what this number 10 means in my life, in my journey? What is 10? Usually we talk about top 10.
Ways to communicate with different people.
Yeah, I did. Still. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, other guesses? Okay, if not, then I was raised in a family that consists of 10 members. So I have 8 siblings. So 8 siblings mean, living with 8 siblings means that I had the honor to live in a rich context for developing collaboration, like opportunities. So we would sleep in the same room, like my 8 siblings. We had one room, and we had to resolve issues when somebody didn't want to go to sleep early, when somebody didn't want to sleep in the dark. Okay, when my oldest son wanted to turn off the light, and I was phobic about that. So we had to, I learned conflict management. I learned to empathize with somebody in that one room, because when my brother or sister was sick, we heard her crying all day, night, and we were witnesses from close to these daily incidents. And that's what I developed, and this is what I've learned. It was so embarrassing. Okay, so would you go out in the street with a shirt like this? Yep. T-shirt like this?
Could you repeat your question, Samia?
Okay, the title that I chose for this T-shirt is "It was so embarrassing." And my question to you and to everybody else is, would you go with a T-shirt like this in the street?
I will go.
I would not.
Depends on which city. Maybe in
Yeah, exactly.
maybe in a
any
hipster city in Europe.
In any
but
city,
not
I
in
will
this-
go with
not
this.
in- not in this.
Samia, certainly not in our society. I won't.
Yeah, my saloon, I get that. But be careful, Costas. People maybe will not like that. I don't know. It depends where
But
you
you
are.
know, I'm playing with my opportunities. If they don't want, it's okay for me. But if someone wants, it's okay also for me. No,
Okay, so you check the possibilities before you take actions. That's a good strategy.
even one is an advantage.
Yeah.
One is better than nothing.
So this T-shirt was one that my mother bought to me when I was at the age of 8. And by the way, my mother is illiterate. She doesn't know to read and write. She doesn't know English. And at the age of 8, back then, I didn't know English. So I was walking in these streets with this T-shirt, and now I'm thinking back about it. And as my saloon said, it's unacceptable in my culture to walk with a T-shirt like this. So it was so embarrassing to me when people who knew English knew what it meant. Okay, there's one book that I read when I was a child, and that book was Black Beauty. I remember that I lived in one of the villages, and my father went worked in Tel Aviv, and he got this book from one of his bosses. He brought it home, and it was the only book in my house. I never had another book till maybe the age of 16, when I went to high school. There was one book, and every time there were no playgrounds, they no clubs, there were no places to spend time after school. So I had only this book, and every time summer I would read this book and learn everything about, I'm going to show you 1 minute in this book. 1 second, 1 minute only. And I show you what I learned from this book. I want you to see this minute, okay? Here. This is about a black horse. I read this book tens of times, okay? Because it was the only book. It's about a black horse that lives in different places and meets different horses. And that horse tells the story. 1 minute only. Okay, have I turned the
You
sound?
need stop sharing your screen and share. When you share, click share
sound.
the audio.
Okay, here. Here we go.
Sir Oliver's tail was very short, only 6 or 7 inches long. I'd often wondered what accident had shortened it, and so I asked him now.
Accident?
Sir Oliver let out a fierce snort.
It was no accident. When I was young, my original owner had it cut off on purpose. Flesh, bone, and all.
That's awful, I exclaimed.
Indeed it was.
Sir Oliver agreed.
And it was not only the pain, though that was bad enough. I am left without enough tail to brush the flies off my sides and hind legs. The rest of you can't imagine what that's like. They can bite me all day long, and I'm helpless to flick them away as you can without thinking about it.
Okay.
But why did they cut off your tail?
Okay, so
Ginger asked.
that's it. Okay, I'm
For
going to stop
fashion,
this video.
Sir Oliver replied.
Nothing more.
Okay, so it was cut for fashion, nothing more. So to me, like this book has like brought to my attention and understanding of how somebody would be cruel without making decisions, without empathy, without thinking about others and how they would feel. So cutting the tail from the perspective of the owner was done because it looked nice, but it caused hurt and pain to the horse. Just think about that. Crossing borders from early age, I mean, I'm telling my story, I'm continuing telling my story. I've crossed borders. So I was born in a village, and then I moved to another high school in another village. And then I decided to cross borders to another town or city where I finished my studies. And as I was crossing borders and learning in different contexts, I was learning about different cultures. And that was important to me. And I've learned while crossing my cultures, as Gandhi would put it, the metaphor of Gandhi of living in a house without walls, I learned how to embrace and learn from various cultures. I wasn't there to critique other cultures, but I was there to observe other cultures and learn, to exchange ideas, to learn about other traditions, to learn about other values, and to think about my own values and traditions, and sometimes really appreciate my own values and appreciate theirs. Okay? So, and sometimes it's our values. It's not mine, it's not theirs. Sometimes I could find things that we have in common because we are all humans. That's why. Okay, once again. Okay. So sometimes there's been incident in your life that changes your entire life. And that incident is connected to who you attribute your success to. Are you successful because somebody else? Have you passed the test because your teacher is nice, your teacher is good? Or have you failed the course because of your teacher or because you didn't invest enough? Okay, or you didn't work hard enough. So it depends on how you see it. So when my daughter was still in school, she was a child. I think she was in private school, meaning she was 8, 9 years old, and I was supposed to help with her homework. She came home and she said, the exam was postponed, and I said, why? And she said, because there is a wedding in the village, and the teacher decided it's not the right time to give an exam, because mothers were supposed to help with homework. And if mothers, and with the preparation for the exam, and if mothers don't have time, then kids are not ready for the exam. Just imagine how things are, like being independent. Okay, so dreams come true sometimes, and that was my dream. So I decided to explore the area of independence, and self-access learning, and that how students learn and how they should learn independently without their teacher. And that's what I did. And I had my PhD after I graduated. But I was always wondering whether the British have spoiled my manners. Because in my culture, I would, if I had a guest in my house, I would say, can I get you a cup of coffee before offering the coffee? How is it in your culture? I mean, if you have a guest, do you offer coffee, drink without asking, or do you ask first?
In our case, in Greece, we ask,
Yes.
but we offer, at the same time. So it's like we are doing both of the things at the same time. Do you want the coffee? And we bring the coffee. And if they don't like the coffee, we say, like, it's a very nice coffee. So we are asking and we are bringing at the same time.
Huh. Okay, that's nice. Okay, disposable cups. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, at my grandma's house, we offered coffee as a welcome. And they didn't ask, and they offered coffee as a goodbye without asking.
Yeah, same in my culture, my salon.
Also in
I
Turkey, they are doing the same. They are bringing not coffee, but tea. Wherever you go, they bring tea without asking.
Do you like tea, Kostas?
I like it, yes.
Okay, so that works for you.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. What about those who don't like coffee, tea? Okay, it puts people in unpleasant situation. Okay,
Yeah.
disposable cups. Yes, please.
I'm saying that in my husband's family, they offer coffee, they don't ask, and I don't drink Arabic coffee. And it is really embarrassing because what should I do with a cup of coffee?
Okay, good question. Okay, so thank you. Disposable cups, in my culture, you should offer glass cup and not plastic one. Okay, how is it in your culture? Does it make any difference?
I actually think that it's changing. I see a lot of disposable cups in the last few years. It infuriates me. I don't know why, but I mean, I don't know why they're becoming very popular. I hate that. Yeah.
No, in my house I cannot do it.
Yeah,
I was
especially I
critiqued all
think
the time.
after many people got espresso machines, they started using paper cups for coffee rather than glass ones.
No, that's horrible.
I know, it's awful.
Yeah,
I also
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, okay. So my question to Kostas and everybody else, when you give a presentation in a conference and somebody asks you a question and you don't know what the answer is, do you say, I don't know? Would you say, I don't know?
Yes, we will say, I don't know. We will say this, yes.
Okay, what about others? How do you feel about saying, I don't know?
It's very difficult for me personally to say that. However, what I learned that the best way to deal with it is that I'm not sure at the moment. I will check and get back to you.
Okay,
But
nice.
yeah, it does kind of hurt a little bit to say that you don't know something, but you're human, so I think you should just accept that.
Yeah, it's, for me as well, it's very hard to say I don't know, but I've learned to say that I don't know because of many situations that turned to be really embarrassing because I didn't know and I put a face that I knew.
However, it's like the best policy to say that you don't know because you secure yourself. Because if you start to say things that you don't know, the thing becomes more complicated. I think to say I don't know is very nice.
I agree, but I think it's as Samia was saying, it's a cultural thing.
Culture.
It's yeah.
I have solution for that. I have solution.
Go ahead, Alexandra.
I always said that it wasn't field of my research. So
Oh, nice.
That's it, a nice strategy. Alexander, you know that some people start talking without before they think. I mean, when you talk, you think, but there are certain people who start talking without thinking. Okay, and I would say in my culture, it's very weird. It's not common to say, I don't know. I mean, especially if you're an elderly and you're supposed to lead in this a very close network of community, and you're supposed to lead the youth, it's very uncommon to say, I don't know. Okay, so my tip was here that think about what is right and wrong, and think about the do and don'ts. But the idea is that it's habits, values are transferable. You live in one culture, you learn from other cultures, and sometimes without being aware of that, things transfer from one culture to another. Okay, so this is the place where I work, Western Galilee College. It's where it provides a platform or a setting for cultural meetings, bringing together students from a variety of ethnic and religious backgrounds. We're a culture that embraces 50% of the students from the minorities, and 50% of the students are the majority. And we study the together, bridging gaps and learning about each other in this very unique context. So, okay, so that, and I brought my toolbox, things that I've learned in my studies, in my research, in the different contexts that I've visited in my life to this context. Okay, now let's see how much you know about other cultures. We're going to play a game, okay, Kahoot, and I'd like each one of you to connect. Okay, here. One second.
Can you send the link? It will be easier.
Okay, but okay, it's loading. Okay, I will. Okay, one second. Okay, why don't Kahoot? It's Kahoot it. Okay, let me write it in the chat. One chat. Okay, so this is the number, and this is the QR, 911569. Kahoot it. Okay. Okay, many people here. It's real challenge here. Big challenge now to compete against all these students. Okay, we're going to start in 1 minute, so please join quickly. Okay, 37. Okay, another. Okay, we have more and more people joining, so let's wait. 1 more minute. 39 players. 39. Okay. So let's begin. Okay, 40. No, people are joining. Maybe I should wait. Okay, 40. Let's begin. One second. What's going on here? Why?
It is loading.
Ah, it's loading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we can see something.
Maybe you should go.
Okay.
Yeah, we have true and false. In Japan, the world no. It was too fast.
Okay, 1 minute, like less than 1 minute. Okay. Move to the next question.
Maybe you should scroll up or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Now we get question 2.
You don't see
Can
the
you read the
question.
question, Ellie?
Yeah.
Or
You
yeah?
just
don't see the
scroll
we
up.
just
question.
got the
You
question
need to
2.
go up, Samia. You need to
But
scroll
let
up.
me see.
Scroll up on your screen.
Ah, okay.
بتعدي يمين تعليق
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
now.
Thank you.
But the time was missing. We didn't see. Okay.
Have you finished?
No, we couldn't. The question is finished. We believe in you, and it's finished.
Okay. So
Time's
next
up.
question, sir. Okay. Okay, next. In Italy, it's a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. Okay, so, okay, next. Okay, so, next. True, false. Netherlands. Do we have any students from the Netherlands? It's a bad idea to turn up late for a meeting. Okay. Next. So Holland, hi, you're in the top. True or false? In Japan, the business card is very important and should be treated with respect. Okay, true. Okay, next. Okay, so Holland, you should be faster. In Turkey, you should not insist on sharing the restaurant bill with your host. Okay. Okay, why, Michaela? Wow. First, stop. Next. In Mexico, you should be careful about proposing dinner arrangements with your client. Okay, next. Yes, you should be careful. Michaela is still on the top. Okay. So it's acceptable to shake hands with a Muslim using your left hand. I mean, you can shake hands with a Muslim, but can you use your left hand? Okay, it's not acceptable. Next. Okay, next. Question number 9. Israelis usually stand less than an arm's distance from one another while talking. Eli, what do you say about this? Eli.
I don't know.
Next. Okay, let's see if Michaela stays at the top. Okay. How does it feel? You cannot compete with the first place. In Israel, people often talk with their hands. Davida, what do you say about this?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I noticed when I watch my videos, I noticed that I use my hands and I talk with my hands. So I started changing. Now I tied my hands before this meeting.
Why? It's not bad. It gives you more. It gives you more like clues to understand what you're talking about. I mean, your hands is like also speaking.
Yes, we use hands, but it's a lot.
But other
Do
cultures.
we have Michaela? Where's Michaela? Can we see you? Can you turn off on your camera so we can get to see you? Michaela, congratulations. Andrija, congratulations. Hi, Isham Emu, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. So I guess, Kostas, you're doing good job. In HMU, sorry. Okay.
You are sharing on GPT.
Okay. Next. Okay, so the dangers of, okay, so now you know how much you know about your cultures. You know that if you travel abroad, you need to learn about other cultures. But you should, I said at the beginning, I want to talk about the don'ts, insight that I've gained during my journey, intercultural journey. And the don'ts are like not to fall in the trap of telling one story, because there are different interpretations, sometimes different stories. The way you see things might be different from the way others see it. Okay, so let me, okay, show you this. 1 second. It should, okay, the story of the danger of telling one story. And let me show you this minute, only 1 minute.
I recently spoke at a university where a student told me that it was such a shame that Nigerian men were physical abusers like the father character in my novel. I told him that I had just read a novel called American Psycho, and that it was such a shame that young Americans were serial murderers. Now,
okay, so that's the idea. Okay, not to overgeneralize. Okay, not to base your judgment. Sorry, what is that? Okay, 1 second. Not to base your judgment based on one story. Okay, just try because if you judge it in one story, then that can lead to significant misconceptions. That's the idea. I'm going to send you my presentation so you can watch the entire talk. The danger of culture glasses. Okay, so each one, according to the anthropologist, the father of American anthropology, Franz Boas, each one of us have culture glasses, and we all have different perspectives on reality. So reality is the same, but the way we see it is different from one culture to another. So sometimes we are unaware of how our culture shapes our vision. Okay, So and sometimes reality is distorted by the glasses we wear. So these are the don'ts. Be careful about your cultural glasses. Sometimes it gets stuck, this. Okay. And this cultural iceberg, the iceberg model, which is briefly that there are, shows that there are, what we see on the surface is a way too little compared to what we see beneath, okay? When we communicate with other cultures, we see the surface, and sometimes it's misleading because we miss a large portion of what really defines a culture. So a culture is about language, about food, about holidays, about literature, but it's also about pride, expectations, about personal space, about work ethics. And there are certain things that we are not aware of and we don't know. So we need to dig deep in order to explore more about other cultures. And part of the don'ts that I want to share with you today is avoid the fisheye syndrome. The fisheye syndrome is this idea of seeing through the door, seeing through the door peepholes, and when you don't see the entire picture. So the center is exaggerated. Certain elements are exaggerated, like here you see the door, but the certain elements of that culture are unseen, invisible. So the idea is you should be careful about this and avoid drawing stereotypes and biases based on seeing part of the cultural features or focusing on the most salient or accessible features of a certain cultures. Okay, face value. Face value, like the idea of judging a book by its cover, judging something from the outside. We're not going to play time because I see time. I look at my watch now. I prefer to do other things in the end. Okay, so I think it's important that you don't judge things from face value, and you pay attention to other features. So it's the same idea here. Because when you take something at face value, you in a way creating stereotypes, ideas. So you have ideas that you might not be aware of. Ideas like people with pink hair are mean, sorry, for all those people who are with pink hair, but this is a stereotype that people might have. And and this idea can turn into a feeling where you start disliking people with pink hair, for example. And this can lead to actions where you don't want to connect with people with pink hair just because they have pink hair. So some people experience this on daily basis, and we have to be careful about this. And we have to use critical thinking in order to break down the stereotypes and not allow these stereotypes to dictate our actions. I mean, feel free to interrupt me if you have questions. So we have to learn how to unlearn. Sometimes we live in a culture or environment where we get these stereotypes, overgeneralizations, and we don't ask questions, we take them for granted. But this is the danger of all this idea of inheriting stereotypes and prejudice and discrimination. So we have to ask questions, avoid overgeneralizations, base our attitudes and behaviors on facts and not feelings or ideas that we inherited without questioning. And this idea, I got it from my salon. My salon, are you here? My salon.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, this is one of a presentation you shared to me.
Yeah, the Cinderella.
Yeah, sometimes so sometimes we inherit, we learn these stereotypes from something we've always believed that it's good for us. Everybody, I guess everybody watched Cinderella when you were young, right? When
Yeah.
you were, yeah.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought that it might not be good for children?
Yeah, actually, I also saw, it's not exactly I think I saw this one, but there was actually a video that showed how would it be if a woman was actually the knight on the horse rescuing the man from the dragon. And then the video said, you will never read a story like this to your boys, then why would you read it to your daughters? And then there was it showed a survey that young girls learn to read less fast than boys because because most of the stories that their parents read to them, at least in the past, were stories where they were depicted as weak. And in the recent years, I don't know if anyone has been to a bookstore recently, there are several of these kind of book series for children, like 100 girls that didn't need to be rescued and 100 boys that didn't need to kill a dragon. So they're actually quite nice. So if you have kids,
oh, that's amazing.
Nice.
When we are looking at Disney movies for children, they also are different now than they were in past. Yeah, in the newest movies, the women characters are different than it was previously. I don't know if you have children in that age which are looking at the movies now. My daughter is adult, but sometimes I'm watching movies for children. Today's girls' characters are different, even in Disney movies. So the attitude to women characters in movies are changed.
Yes. So we learn from mistakes, and like a producer learned, movie producers are book writers learned to change or update the status and the qualities of what the modern woman is and how we want to portray women and girls in these movies. So watch this YouTube video on if Cinderella were a man, okay? Because the way Cinderella is portrayed in this movie that what we watch was that she's blonde, and whoever is blonde can succeed and can win, which is not the message we want to tell our kids. That's the idea. Okay, thank you for sharing your stories, and see the big picture always. So these are not dots, these are giraffes. When you look at a culture, other cultures, see everything, ask all the questions. And okay, now I want to share like strategies that I think, and I want to hear your input on this, as to what works in intercultural communication. What skills we want
Samia,
to employ? Yes.
Because you asked, I think that in one of the previous transparencies, one of the important things about the intercultural competencies and communication is sometimes you need to adapt to the new situation if you are in a different culture. It's not only to understand, what are the differences, not only to respect, but sometimes you should act and you should adapt yourself to a new culture by adapting some of the cultural values of the environment that you live. For example, you were in the UK. I'm pretty sure that you have learned, you understand that they use please, yes. And you use it in order to be able to communicate. It's not only to understand, but also to apply and adapt sometimes the new values that you are. And this helps even more the communication and the collaboration.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And from the British, I use, and because of the British, I use the word thank you more often. Thank you and please. Yeah, of course. And I ask for permissions before I take actions. I would say, would you, what do you think? I share ideas. So adaptability, of course, Kostas. Added to this list, I would add adaptability. Okay, I want to hear from the students in this course. What do you want to add to this list? The students who took Costa's course and Elena's course and Eric course, right? So Eric, Costas and Elena.
And your course.
Students.
You participate as a lecturer. And your course.
Yes. My course is in semester bed. So
no, it's now.
Yeah, okay. So I want to hear from the students. What do you want to add to this list? So Costas added adaptability. Okay.
Maybe transparency.
Okay, can you explain what you mean, Remy?
So when you're talking to people, that you're honest and tell exactly what you mean instead of going around, because then it's easier to know what people actually mean, and that can in a rich culture.
Yes. Okay, so you share, like, that's the idea. Thank you. Yeah, one of the things that are
another thing that is very important in different cultures is the time management. You need to be on time. If you are not be on time, or if you don't deliver on time, with some cultures we will have problems.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Aya, what do you want to say? Okay. Do you want to? Okay, so let's go on. So adaptability, transparency, and sharing your feelings and asking questions, like asking questions. You ask and you tell the other what you don't understand. But you know what? Kostas, I've learned not to ask why. Not to start with why. Why do you eat a cheese with? You don't ask why. I think you would ask, what do you eat? What do you can you tell me more about it? So it depends on the language you use in order to ask questions. People need to use
it depends also on the nationality, which reflects the culture, because in some nationalities and in some cultures they like, and the discussion moves on with why, how. If you ask, in my culture as a Greek, why, is more like in the negotiation. It's like you are in a police station and someone asks you, in a more aggressive way. You need to reformulate your questions. But in other cultures, like why is a part of the design thinking, let's say, there's a pedagogy in order to discover more and start the discussion. I think this word, even the questions depends on the, on the culture. It's a complex problem, as they say yesterday.
Yes, so, okay, thank you. Tajana?
May I?
Yes. Yes.
It's not only how the question, it's how you ask it. And when you ask it, let me say, for instance, if you say in here, in this area, I mean, in Morocco, if you say why, this is aggressive, this is felt as very aggressive. But if you say it you say, yeah, why? That's different. Totally different. You're asking for an answer to a question you don't understand. But otherwise, the tonality of the way you're asking the question, I mean, is very important.
Yes, I agree. Tajana, did you want to say something?
Yeah, upgraded what Costa said before, as well as it was said now. It is not only the country and the culture of the country, but also the culture of the business in which something is going. Because in different business environments, also might be a kind of the slang or dialect is used. And this can lead also then to the misunderstanding, especially like the medicine, they are using just the in between the normal speaking also some Latin words and so on. At least this looks like in Slovenia is this going. So this is also one of the things that we have to be aware. And if the people are coming from other cultures, they have then the problem how to fit in all this.
Yeah, agree. So you have to be, there are business ethics. Business ethics, you have to choose your words. Yeah.
It's not really the ethics, it's really the possibility to communicate, but also business ethics. I agree. But in my mind, it was not so much the business ethics.
Okay, I get that. Thank you. Okay, so the idea here is that you have to employ a set of soft skills, and you added more, of course, here, in order to communicate effectively and appropriately with other cultures. Approach these cultural encounters with self-awareness.
Samia, also Erika from Latvia said patience and sense of humor also helps a lot, which is true.
Okay, sense of humor. Can you elaborate on that, Kostas?
I mean, me or I would like to, I can elaborate, but I would like to give the floor to Erika because Erika made the comment. I mean, in my opinion, humor provides a time, it's like a tolerance tool. It provides a time to understand and communicate. At the moment that you are doing the humor, probably you are not understand very well what is happening, but by doing a humor, I think that you are providing in a very pleasant way the time to both of the sides to understand. I think sometimes humor, I'm using this, to be honest, I'm doing humor in order to deny politely sometimes, or to, yeah. But here, Erika, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. But also I have to know that humor is also, you have to be careful with the humor in terms of intercultural communication and then the people from the different countries too. And I would like to stress also on the patient, like, because intercultural communication, I'm seeing it sometimes as an act of patience. So we really need to be really patient if we want a successful result and all sides are happy.
I think, Erika, also this is hidden on the empathy, on the active listening, the patient over there.
Sure.
You are very true. The humor, you should be very careful because sometimes the humor could
be
offensive. Yeah, sometimes. It could be you could be appear ironic or sarcastic sometimes. And you be very careful with the humor. This is very right.
I agree with Erika, and I think maybe Erika will agree with me that we are from post-communism countries and our sense of humor are a little bit different than in Western Europe. And for example, I have classes with the international management group, and sometimes they don't understand my jokes because of the difference of there's background. So in the beginning of the classes, I always says that please tell me if my jokes are not good or are offended to you. Yes, because sometimes in Poland we think that some things are funny, but for the others they are not. So
however,
sometimes there's a problem.
Yes, I agree. It's a totally like it's a big issue, like using humor as a language teacher. One of the things that I learned at university is you have to learn how to tell humor to to foreign students, because that's the basic difficulty on teaching a language to another population or to students who speak different languages. That's the most difficult, challenging part, to tell your joke in a different language.
Also,
yes,
I will say body language is very important in intercultural understanding. If you see Italians and the Greeks, and I learn now the Israelis, you are moving your heads a lot.
Yeah, I turn my hands.
Other people, like if you go to the north and look, Eric, he's like a robot. You see what is the problem, but there is no problem. I mean, body language is very important, I will say, also in the intercultural understanding.
I agree, because they see it very aggressive when you move your hands around a lot.
Exactly. Even if you check the emails, if you check how different nationalities and different cultures they respond emails, it has a cultural aspect. I remember the first email that I have received from a Swedish professor, I thought that it was very rude. He said, "This, bye. I have used the British way, dear sir. You know, I hope that this email finds you."
Mine, the one that I adapted.
Regards, Costas. And then the guy said to me, "Hi, bye." I said, "What is the problem?" No problem. The way that they communicate. This is like, you know, the normal way. And I mean, a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a very interesting aspect. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big question. What is the normal way? You know, when business, you need to understand the culture of others, and this is something.
Exactly. The normal way for me, Ellie, is like no one is working like you, and you don't work like anyone else. I mean, you should respect the other. I mean, if you don't have an evidence, you should not do mind reading, or you try to do mind reading or cultural reading. Anyone is respect, and you should adapt. I think adaptation in intercultural kind of communication is very important. I'm doing it. I try to adapt every day, and I'm failing every day. I will say to you.
I think I would like to add acceptance, Samia.
Yes.
Yeah, to accept the different, to accept that there is a different culture, and to try and adapt to it. Don't judge it or question it.
Yeah,
just
don't
accept
judge. Exactly. Don't be judgmental. Yeah. Accept others as being different.
This is the mistake
to come from both ways. From the speaker is that don't offense anybody else, and try to understand the other culture. And the other thing is to be more tolerant and understand that there is other culture that you need to understand, and understand there is no one standard for everybody. And of course, to make sure that you don't hurt anybody or defense it in a way. So I think it's a big issue in a higher level. It's something that, you know, everybody is dealing with, and to understand how to work in the global world. So I think it's very interesting to understand.
We need to. Yeah, thank you, Ellie. We need to cultivate this global mindset. Once we operate it, so it works in the different cultures.
And this is exactly what we are doing right now. I mean, this is the path. Look, how do we communicate? We are Mediterraneans. We jump on top of the other. We don't, you know, raise our hand. We don't wait. We interrupt each other. This is a part of the culture. Eric, look, I'm using Eric because he's a friend from Norway. Look, he waits. When he would like to speak, he was going to raise a hand. Between, I mean, people from Morocco, Greeks, Israelis, we jump on top of the other. We are not rude, but this is the way that we communicate. The Slovenians, they wait, you know, very patient. You know, the Norwegians, they wait very patient. But in South Mediterranean, it seems to the others that we interrupt each other. Actually, we are doing this, but we don't mean this.
Yes.
Costas, we are also not waiting sometimes, like me now.
Yeah, sometimes I wait. I learned from the British that I should wait till somebody give me the floor to speak. That's me. But sometimes I attend meetings with other people, and I cannot speak because they don't wait. So that's I'm always in a dilemma as to what I should do. Yes, Abdulillah.
Yeah, would we have the same would we have the same behavior if we were all together in the same room? Would we speak? I mean, we've been in Shania, and we did try to adjust to each other. And then remember, Costas, I had to say, okay, I want to say something, please give me some time. Whereas now being in a virtual setting, we try to listen because we know if we talk all together at the same time, nobody would hear nobody, and it would make no sense. Now, I would like to add something to what you were saying, Eli and Samia and Kostas. We need to develop a capacity to listen to others and to make sure that they might have a point. Let me listen. They might have a point that would add to what I'm saying, would enrich what my approach to the issue or to whatever we're discussing. And I think that's very important. And otherwise, if I think I'm always right, so I don't listen to anybody.
Yeah, of
just
course.
okay. Now we need to develop that. Others are as I mean, interested, as smart as one can be, and they might have a point. I think we need to develop that as well.
Yes, agree. Eric, did you want to say something before I proceed to the next slide?
Just a comment
Yes.
on that up in the north, it might be a bit colder. So just to save energy, we are from years or maybe from medieval trained to not use our hands so much because we want to save the energy. That's at least one theory.
Yeah, okay, I get that. So yeah, thank you all for your input. Kostas, I would suggest that to the next course, we really have a session on intercultural communication in terms of language barriers and how using language can be different, and the correspondence and emails. I think this is it can be a very interesting topic that we can develop. Okay, thank you all. Now I'm suggesting strategies. So the first thing that I said, we employ intercultural soft skills that will help us communicate effectively and appropriately. Of course, we should see other cultures through the lenses of our own culture and their culture. That is the idea. But as a language teacher who teaches different cultures, I would suggest that, no, it's a 3 pillars. So mediation is the solution. Okay. There are 3 pillars, or I should, okay, to any kind of interaction. The first one is reception. We receive messages. Somebody's trying to send us a message, convey a message. And if we don't see it through their own perspectives, then we will not get it. We produce our message, so we have to be careful about how we want to address our points of view or perspectives. We interact, so communication is all about interaction. Interacting, something is going on two-way street. It's interaction in order to lead to understanding. And I would suggest, so that is that we add mediation. And what I mean by mediation, in order to facilitate this interaction, okay, this is not number 4 because you see the title is 3. So mediation is a way to mediate interaction. A mediator can be a human being, like it can be me as somebody who speaks, somebody who have an idea, give a presentation. It could be somebody, it can be a tool, even artificial, that facilitates and enhance an effective and appropriate intercultural communication and understanding between different cultures. So the idea is to take external perspective in order to repair gaps or reduce distances, to mind the gap, to be careful about gaps, and to preempt gaps and lead to understanding between cultures and avoid misunderstanding before and even after they happen. Sometimes something happens and then you reflect on what happens and you want to learn and to get feedback in order to feed forward your next actions. So I'm going now to focus on mediation. How can mediation facilitate intercultural communication? And I want to approach this from different perspective. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's stuck. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to start. So no, I skipped one here. Okay, here. Having issues with my computer today. Okay. So, there are websites that we can use in order to learn about our cultures. So that is one tool. Google it, look for cultural atlas. You learn about other cultures. So this way you mediate your next social or intercultural encounter. So you have the link, you can do it. You have the different countries listed here. So you can look for the country you work with, the country you want to visit, and find all the information. The other thing is personalized learning, and this is something we've been running in our Impact Erasmus project that Kostas is the coordinator of this, managing this project. We're running workshops on AI, and the recordings are on our Impact YouTube website and on our Facebook page. And we've learned that we can manage our own learning. And when we are about to engage in intercultural journey, okay, so we can use AI in order to personalize our learning. You don't just give there and start learning the culture, unless you are adventurous and you want to just to experience things firsthand when you're there. Sometimes you want to prepare. And even if you're in another country or in a meeting, you can also use your ChatGPT. These are the two tools among many. You're invited to visit our YouTube channel in order to watch the recorders. Abdillah, Ellie, and others here are partners, coordinators of this project. I would appreciate it if you share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. Okay, so you can watch recordings on how you can manage your own learning. Okay. Mediation. When you mediate an incident, you think about it in terms of the anticipated beliefs and assumptions by each side of the incident. There are incidents that will happen or happened, which introduce some kind of misunderstanding. So you want to think about the cultural understandings that parties were lacking. I mean, this is when something doesn't work. Sometimes you meet others from different cultures, and there are critical incidents, means things that don't work, and you ask yourself, what didn't work, what their beliefs were, what their assumptions were, what cultural understanding is missing. What should I say? What should I tell my partner in order to resolve the misunderstandings? So you are self-aware of and think critically about the incident, and you want to resolve and suggest the strategies how to resolve it. In a few minutes, we will engage in an activity together. So let me proceed. And this is, and when you are in an intercultural encounter, even before or in engaging in an intercultural encounter, or after an intercultural encounter, you want to reflect, because sometimes we don't learn from the experience itself, like if we are engaged or part of intercultural experience, but we learn from reflecting on that experience. And this idea of Jeff's reflective cycles, which suggests that the first thing we want to know about when we, like Ellie suggested, like when we are in a meeting, a business meeting, or others suggested where we are in this intercultural encounter, we don't judge immediately. We describe what happened, okay? What happened from our point of view and from the other person's point of view, okay? We think about our feelings, like as witnesses, as people who are part of this intercultural encounter, and we think about other people's feelings, what others feels, and then we evaluate what worked in this intercultural communication and what didn't work. just thinking about the incidents consciously, and we tried to analyze it, asking why it happened, what caused it. Would other have the same experience? Would another one from my culture respond the same way? And then you draw your conclusion. What have I learned? Okay, for the next time, like you take action for the next intercultural encounter, and what my action plan is, because we learn from experience, and our current experience will feed our and add to our toolbox that we will use when we move to the next encounter. So briefly, this is the process we have to go through according to the JEPS theory. Okay, a reflective model from 1988. We describe what happened, our reactions, we evaluate, we analyze, we conclude, and we create an action plan. Now it's time to unpack some critical scenarios. I'm going to use breakout rooms now. We have time. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes to, even we can have 20, Costas, we can stay like till when? We said 2 hours, right?
Without break, we are 1.5. But use your time. Use your time. You have.
Okay. So we wanted to explore. Okay, explore. I have other activities, but I will post them on the course, the Moodle of this course. But I want you to experience firsthand, like experience with critical scenarios. And what I mean by critical scenarios is these misunderstandings that occur as a result of encountering different values, beliefs, attitudes, intentions, and behaviors of others that are different from yours. I'm going to send you to a breakout room, and I'll send you the link, where I want you to look. I created more than 10 scenarios, and I want you to choose a scenario that you can connect to with your group. So we have 56 participants. We're going to have about 10 or 12 groups, okay, where we want to discuss these scenarios, describe what happened and how it feels, and what was good and bad about it, and whether it resonates with your culture. Does it gel or does it jar? Does it resonate? Does it fit? Does it match with your culture? And as a mediator, what would you propose? Okay, so I'll be sending this link to the chat. Okay, 1 second. Here. And a breakout rooms. I'll be sending you to breakout rooms to discuss these incident scenarios. I'll be giving you, we will have 12 rooms. Okay, is that enough, Costas? So 5 in each?
Yeah, I mean, if you count 54 that they are now, you should not count yourself. So they are 53. Let's say 50,
okay.
Make 10 breakout rooms with 5 people each.
Okay, and I'm going to send the link.
You can email then the link to all the breakout rooms.
Okay, so first I create, first I create the rooms and then I send the links. Okay, here's the link. Okay, I send the link, okay. So now I'm creating the room. And again, your task appears on the first slide. I want you to say how you feel, how it feels from your perspective, how it feels from the other people's perspectives.
We don't have an access to this because you need to give permission to access your Google file. At least in my case, when I click, the link, it asks permission.
We do not have the permission.
Exactly. No, it's not me. It's like Samia who should provide the permission.
Okay, share. Okay, if I share and it says, okay, anyone with the link, can view. Okay, that's it. Done.
Samia, you need to change from restricted to anyone with the link.
I did.
The editor, you want us to write, right? If you want...
I did. Can you access it now?
Working now.
No, I don't want you to write. I want you to talk.
Okay.
It's working now.
Now it works.
Perfect.
So maybe I should send you to breakout rooms again. Okay, breakout rooms.
No, you don't have. You don't have to send us again. You know, the breakout rooms appear.
Ah, okay, because I don't see it on the screen. Okay, so now you have the task on this the first slide. So share your insights based on your.
Samia, it seems that the rooms are closed. Now it's open.
Yeah. So I want you to discuss these scenarios, and you will be back in 15 minutes. So please join the rooms.
You have not assigned me in any room.
I didn't. It was automatic.
I cannot see myself because probably I'm the host and you are the co-host.
Maybe that's why.
Cannot see my name.
I get lost as well because I didn't click the join. So I'm trying to come in the room 11 as well.
I don't see, maybe because of okay.
You have the 3 dot in the right left, so choose that and pick the room.
Exactly. You press join, but I cannot see my name. Ellie,
I don't see it either. I don't see it either.
Ellie is in room 12.
Yeah.
Tatiana in room 11.
Yeah, but they can it's automatically choose room 12 for me.
Tatiana, yeah, but not for me. I mean, I'm excluded.
No, because you are the host, but all the others, I think it's
yeah.
Press on the 3 dots.
I will go to room 7 because I can see that someone is by himself. Clement? Oh.
Yes.
How are you, boy?
Fine, and you?
I'm fine. So let's discuss.
I will put my camera on.
Let's discuss.
I don't find I can't open the drive. I don't know why.
I share my screen so we can check it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So let's read it together. Unpack critical scenarios. Okay, let's do the first one. Analyzing one of the critical scenarios below by follow these steps. Describe the incident, express your feelings, assess the good and bad, evaluate what worked and what did not, reflect on impact, determine what aligns with your views or clashes with them, empathize, put yourself on the other's position. Okay. So, group 1. I don't know which group we are now. Okay, each one. I think that we should do each one. Oh, there are 14? Is it crazy? Group 1. During university, in the United States, a male student asked me out to dinner. I refused as we were just friends. And to me, going to dinner meant jumping to a boyfriend-girlfriend status. And we barely knew each other. The boy asked me again a few days later, and I declined again for the same reasons. So this is a situation. I will start, it's like, obviously, it is the lady would like more time, by asking,
yes,
this person, immediately, and by insisting, brings her in an, let's say, non-comfortable, I would say, situation. And this means that as an impact, probably they will stop to speak very soon. And it's not
because
like,
he insists a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just, and the boy, if you check from the boy point of view, because I have felt this, it's like we want it, we are anxious, but we are not giving empathy, and we are not reading, the situation well. So this rejection for us, it's rejection, but for the other one, probably it will need more time, or you need to be more patient, and you should provide, you should elaborate your steps, towards your goal. If your goal is this girl to be your boyfriend or girlfriend, I would yes, please, Clement.
Yeah, I think obviously you're right, and when you're a woman, it's maybe more delicate and complicated when a boy asks you things like that and insists after a few days after asking again, and you say again no. So yeah, I agree. The point of view, if you ask the boys and then the girl, the both point of view are completely different. And yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and in some cases, it's like also a cultural aspect, because some cultures are more conservative and they would like more time, they would like more official, more steps to happen. Yeah, I think that this is a situation that it needs more communication. I mean, it needs more patience, and to clarify what are your, I will say, objective, because probably you don't want more friends, but you would like, something more, a girlfriend, for example, in this case. And at the same time, you should be observed. I think that this is the case. I think that the boy should give more time, and the girl should communicate what she would like in order to make the things clear faster.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. Okay, do you want to start now yourself?
So for the second one, so group 2, a very close friend of mine from Turkey had a girlfriend in DC. They are married now. She's from Utah and she was working at Bank of America at that time. In my whole life until that moment, I never thought that drinking coffee can be an issue for some certain belief system. In the society I am coming from, drinking alcohol is a big issue for the belief system, but drinking coffee is not. I just got 3 coffees and walked to the park, and I gave a coffee to my friend and the other coffee to his girlfriend. But his girlfriend refused to take coffee. My friend told me in Turkish, don't insist too much.
Yeah, this is obviously, hi, Remy. We're reading the scenario. We discussed the first scenario, and now we have moved to the second scenario. This is, I mean, this is a little bit strange, because these two people, they got married, which means that the situation that is described right now, it looks to me that should happen before they got married. Because when you are Mormon, that's why, because she's from Utah, she's a Mormon, no? Which means that probably, I have no idea about the Mormons' habits. Obviously, they don't drink a coffee. And the Muslims, they don't drink alcohol, by following, this description. Probably the guy from Turkey is, the Turkish guy is a Muslim. That's why they don't drink alcohol. So even in this case, I think that they should respect each other and they should communicate each other in order to resolve and adapt very fast. Otherwise, it's going to be a conflict issue and they are going to divorce as an impact. This is my translation. I don't know, Remy.
Well, I'm thinking the same. So I didn't have this exact scenario where I grew up, but I grew up in Norway, in the capital, and a place where was very much intercultural cultures mixed together. So this scenario was one of my neighbors. And they ended up separating because they couldn't get past it.
Correct. I think, adaptation or, communication. This is, I think, clear communication and a communication issue. And I think that they should solve it before they get married.
Well,
sometimes
I don't think this is adaptation. I think it's more communication.
They are married. Yes, communication.
Because
and listen to the others maybe. As well.
Because if you manage to have a great conversation, then you're adapting naturally instead of forcing you to adapt.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so group 3, Remy, if you would like to read it for us now. It's your
Group 3. When I first moved to UK, I sometimes had what I would call an annoying experience with the UK citizens. For example, I remember one of my new British neighbors asked me if we left our guns in the storage in the US since guns are illegal in UK. When I replied I didn't own any guns and were supportive. No, sorry, not supportive. Yeah, of strict gun controls laws in the US. They were surprised and said they thought all Americans own guns.
Clear situation of stereotypes that you believe that all the US they are cowboys and they have a gun, or all the Greeks are lazy. Yeah, this is like clear situation of stereotypes, and I think during the lecture, the lecturer mentioned that you should not it's one of the not to do things like use stereotypes in order to observe and start a communication with other culture. This is a killer because automatically it's like you are doing this mind reading in the personal relations. You think that it's not valid. This is my opinion.
Yeah. And maybe ask before, say, oh, you have all your guns with you or something like this. Maybe say that I heard from some articles or I read in a journal or something like this on the website that a lot of Americans have a gun with them. Is it true or not? But maybe not this way, yes.
Well, I think we maybe should just, the Americans should use the term, you should never judge a book by covers because every page is different.
Can you please repeat this? I like it.
Never judge a book by cover because all the pages are different.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
Judge. This is very nice.
Because here they're using like stigmas to put people in like boxes. And
this happened
times to lead to conflict.
Yeah, this happened also with in Greece. We had problems with immigrants. So some of the immigrants they behaved, let's say, not according to the law. So we have characterized, in the Greek community, all these people from this country are violent, which is not the case. So let me go to the other scenario. That is my turn to read. You are a tourist visiting Lebanon and have been invited to a dinner by a group of locals. At the end of the meal, the bill arrives and everyone looks to you to pay your portion. However, you are not accustomed to the idea of splitting bills and find it uncomfortable to ask for a separate check. You are a tourist visiting Lebanon and have been invited to a dinner by a group of locals. At the end of the meal, the bill arrives and everyone looks to you to pay your portion. However, you are not accustomed to the idea of splitting bills and finding a comfortable. Yes, this is very close to my culture as well in Greece. When I'm inviting you to a dinner, when I'm making the invitation, for me, I have to pay. I will never ask you to split. I have been, when I was a PhD student in Scotland, and I was with US students, Italians, French, British, we were all together. And, it was very strange for me that they asked 12 different bills and they, measure even the penny, how much money do I have paid? And the other guy said, oh, you had the Coca-Cola and I have a wine, or you had the wine and I have Coca-Cola. Mine is less. In Greece, even if we split the bill, we say how many we are, 10, divided by 10. We are not checking if I had a steak and you had a chicken.
Yeah, I think in France, we do that. In France, we share, but we look at the bills and say, okay, you take the Coca, I take the wine, so we split it like this, and not as in Greece to divide it by 10 if we are 10. I think in France is in this case more.
Well, my experience is kind of more to which kind of group of people you are within Norway. And this goes by age, actually. It's pretty strange to say. But say if you are between the demographic like 16 to 25, they all split bills. If you are like 25 to like 35, then one take it, and then you have an agreement that you take the next one.
Yeah.
And that also depends on which part of the Norwegian society you come from.
Yes. Yeah.
So, say when we get down to Greece, if you had invited us to dinner, we would expect that we had to pay our portion, because that's usually how we do it in other countries.
Yeah.
Good to know, because
Yeah, I think it's the same for me.
Usually in Greece, if someone invites, he pays or she pays.
Even for 20%, for example?
Even for 20 or 40. But if they say from the beginning, stop us. We had a very nice discussion. I'm learning about Norwegian and about French habits.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so I hope that was an opportunity for all of you to reflect on an incident, critical incident, that it might happen with any one of us. Okay, I want to listen to your feedback. What do you want to share anything?
In my case, we manage in our room 7 with Remy and a French student from us. I don't remember the name. Oh, I'm very bad in names. This is very impolite. Remy, or not Remy. What was the name of the French guy?
Remy.
Remy is the Norwegian. We had a French colleague now, I will say. And we managed to discuss the first 4 groups, the first 4 situations. In my case, I felt very close to these situations because I have lived, in the case of Lebanon, very next to Lebanon, so in the Middle East. So it's very familiar for me. And with the US and the UK, I have lived there, so I know how do they behave. But in some cases, we had some common approaches. In some other cases, completely different. For example, in the case of the meals, in Greece, if someone will invite you in a meal, and if he's not going to make it clear from the very beginning that it's up to your portion, this means that we will pay. So if you are going to pay, we're going to say you shut up and sit down and you don't pay. But it's not like in the UK, and I gave them an example, the same is in Norway, but Remy will explain to you what's happening in Norway. It's very strange for us, this situation. We are 10, we divide it by 10, and we ask different bills. This is very strange. Or even a stranger experience that I had, the people, they check, we are 10, but we don't divide it by 10 equal, but we check the bill, and we say, I took Coca-Cola, you took wine. It means like, 50 pence, less. For me, it's like, in my culture, it looks like, this guy is stingy. But, it's cultural. This is what
interesting. Okay, thank you, Kostas. Others, I'd like to hear other humor about these critical incidents. Who was that?
I'm Hiba from Temkin.
Okay, Hiba.
Okay, so for me, and I'm sorry if I will misspell his name. His name is Tobias, I think, from Norway. I'm sorry if I misspelled the name. We discussed the situation of Group 12 about Paolo, who is an electronics distributor in Italy, who had unprofessional, if I may say, incident with another Japanese negotiator. And we understood that it was only a misunderstanding, a cultural misunderstanding. And so to address the issue, we thought about being the mediators to rise and promote cultural awareness between the two. And we said that, first of all, we have to recognize the issue and make them understand how, if they were in each other's shoes, how they would address the issue, and then concern for the impact, address the issue, and at the end we have to promote cultural awareness. However, what we learned from the incident is that this incident serves as a reminder of the importance of cross-cultural awareness and sensitivity in international business interactions, and that being mindful of cultural differences and customs can help avoid misunderstandings and contribute to successful negotiations and collaborations with partners from different cultural backgrounds. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiba. So it means that since you unpack this critical incident, now you're ready to, you're better prepared for the next intercultural encounter. That's good. So if we mediate other critical incidents, it means that we ourselves are better equipped with the tools to engage and to handle future critical incidents. That's the idea. And I want to explain the word critical not necessarily mean negative incident. It means, based on the resources that I use in this presentation, it means making a lemonade out of a lemon. So even if a lemon is sour, so we can make a lemonade. Like if a critical incident is really harsh and tough, and you will not go to sleep the same day. And sometimes I know about other people, okay, I had something awful today, and I'm going to go to sleep just to forget about it. Okay, no, just think critically, as Hiba said, about it. Be proactive, preempt gaps. Think about what didn't work, what worked, the feelings of other, in order to make a lemonade out of the lemon. That's my message. Okay, others? Kostas, you want to say something?
No, I would like to be polite. Clement, it was the French guy.
Yes, it was me. Sorry, I have a bug. I can't reach the meeting. I don't know why after the breakout rooms, but now it's fine.
And I would like to say something, that this is the first impact, let's say, seminar that we are all together. You know, Christians, Hebrew, Arab, Muslims, Arabs, Israelis, and the people from Morocco. And this is a breakthrough, I will say, seminar. Congratulations.
The people from Morocco are Muslims, 99%.
I say Muslims, I said that.
Yeah, and you said the people of Morocco.
But I said at the beginning, I start with religion. Don't follow me, man.
So we have Christians, we have Muslims.
Let me just this being apart. I think we now that everybody is talking about soft skills and what have you, we should develop the process which would ingrain and would root thinking in this way in people we're reaching out to, working with, or we're training on these processes. That would be great. Samia, you just said that. When faced with the situation, how do we analyze the situation? What should we do? What are the questions that we should ask ourselves to address any issues that the situations sends our way? So if we could develop some kind of a process, that would be great.
Cultural glasses. That's what we want to like. Intercultural glasses.
Never use the rule my way or the highway. This is a killer.
And mind the gap. What I started with. Elena, did you want to say something?
I also really like the metaphor that you presented for people with pink hair. Like people have stereotypes, you know, like people with pink hair are mean, or people with pink hair are that. And I was just imagining people with pink hair, and then, no, we have to really think about ourselves personally and think about our own stereotypes. Like, you know, people who share bills like this and like that, they're stingy, right? But then I say, okay, maybe those are just people with pink hair and they're just different from me, and I should not judge them. I should not put them under any stereotypes. It's just they have their pink hair and that's them, right? So like pink hair can be anything, can be religion. We cannot say that, I don't know, Arabs or Christians or Jews are like this or like that, because it's, again, it's just people with pink hair. Everyone has their own shade of pink, I guess. And what we have to accept and internalize, I guess.
However, I would like to be more inclusive in this course because there are people without hairs as well. Okay.
And people getting to losing their hair, right? Too.
Yeah, and we have to accept everybody, no matter how they look, no matter what language they speak. Okay, I wanted to share one of the, okay, before I share my critical incidents, like I want to ask if you want to add. Yes.
I'm sorry about this, but in 8 minutes, I have another.
I know. I'm looking
Sorry,
at my watch.
sorry.
Okay, so does anybody want to add from the students? Any one of the students want to add something that they learned about analyzing and critical issues? Okay, so what I want to say, like as Costa said, I'm the head of the English unit at the Western Galilee College. As a female, like from my culture, I wouldn't instruct people like this is how I raised, not to instruct and not to give instructions on what people should do. And again, I'm using the word should. So if we are like as in terms of language, you can say you choose between should and must. And when I write emails, and Elena and my salon can really notice this, maybe, that when I send an email to my staff members, and I have 23 staff members, I'm the head of the unit, I always use should instead of must. You should, and I suggest, I suggest, and other people would use I instruct you. But you know what? It's something culture. I cannot. I tell Elena, and we discuss this among ourselves. I say, I cannot use instruct, and you have to. It's a culture thing. And I would say, I suggest, and then one of the teachers would not abide by the rules and would say, Samia, but you only suggested. You didn't tell us to do that. And I said, well, when I suggest, I mean you have to, but I cannot write I suggest. You have to. I keep on writing suggest.
You know, Sandra, it makes me think about my mother. She's a French origin, and she was asking us, do you want to wash the dishes? And we said, no, we don't.
Amazing, yeah.
Okay. And then for some culture, if you say do you want to wash the dishes, you mean like you have to wash the dishes. That's exactly what your mother meant, I guess. Okay, I want to share this last slide here now. Okay, last two things. So after we discussed other incidents, I want you to, as you leave this and you think about our, reflect on this presentation, this meeting that we had, you think about your critical incidents, you think about your roles, highlight success, small win, or something positive that happened when you encountered somebody from another culture. You think about the thorn, about the difficulties, the challenges you experience, about the bad. I mean, every experience is an opportunity for learning, you get feedback and you feed forward. And Elena, that's something that I learned from your workshops, from Sam, okay, maybe, and from Impact, that you get feedback and you feed forward your future actions. Okay, just think about critical incidents in this way, and not only as a negative, but it's as an insightful learning, something that will promote, as Hiba said, something that promotes self-awareness, critical thinking, and empathy. Thank you, Hiba, for just summarizing the idea in a very interesting way. Abdelillah, you want to say something?
No, Abdelillah leaves, his microphone, and I take care. I mute him,
No, I'm really okay. Now that you ask, I've been traveling, and like anybody else in this seminar, I've been traveling a lot. And when I'm asked, when you travel, what do you expect? I say, I don't expect anything. I just go, and whatever is there, I'll deal with it. And so adaptability is probably something we need to work on and to just think about. When I came to Shania, Nothing. I just wanted to have some really good time, give it my best shot, and that's something that I work on with my colleagues here at the foundation and anywhere we go. We just came back from a trip to Genifra, 300 some kilometers from Rabat. Yesterday we came back, and that's what we did. Adaptability is something that I encourage everybody to think about and develop. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So it's all in your hands, and I'm addressing the young students here in this meeting. It's all in your hand. You learn about other cultures. You prepare for encounters with other cultures, and this course has been a platform like for you to launch your journey, to start your intercultural journey, and you shape it. You decide how to create it with your awareness, with your empathy, with your critical thinking skills, with adaptability skills, resilience skills, all the skills that you've learned throughout, practiced and cultivated during this course in order to move forward and prepare for a successful and even manage your intercultural encounters. So your journey has just started. I'm addressing the students. You're young, your journey has just started. And I wish you good luck with your intercultural journey. The world is small. The world, it's a global world. And soon we will be talking about the global, and we're already talking about the global citizens. We are citizens of the world. Okay, that's the idea. Wear your culture glasses, okay? But don't foresee other cultures. Just see other cultures and go beneath, dig beneath. That's my message. Thank you all. Kostas and others, do you want to add anything? Elena, teachers of this course, do you want to add something, students? We have 2 minutes.
You have very nice comments, on the chat. So I will start with Abdelillah, who was first. Thank you so much, Samia, everybody, for this wonderful and very successful seminar. I have to leave now, but he's still here. I like by Elena. Thank you very much for much. Thank you very much for such an inspiring and interesting session. I agree with both of them very much. We need to focus our similarities than the differences. Mohammed, you are very good. You are very well on this, but also to the differences. In order to make the differences similarities, or make the differences like to communicate better and understand. Totally true. Davita also agrees. Difference give us new knowledge. Correct, Tatiana. So I think that we have 1 minute before I have to close this because I'm using my Zoom for the next meeting.
Build bridges, not walls. That's the message. That's the name of this workshop.
Excellent.
Build bridges, not walls.
As I told you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Cultural difference. I should stop now. This is my Greek character.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
And I would like to thank all of you because, as I told you, this was like a breakthrough, today, regarding the interaction of all of us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay. So
bye now.
See you
Thank
next
you.
Friday. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.